We don't have rights to that music, but that's okay. We've been making our own. Glint Co makes music in Music Room 3 again.
Wait a minute. Since when is there a grand piano in here?
Well, this is a music room after all.
So why wouldn't it have a grand piano?
It is a music room after all.
It is a music room.
It's always been there, we just had it covered up.
It is a music room after all. Music plays an integral role in Ouran High School Host Club. From concertos to waltzes, Ouran's soundtrack includes classics such as the Ouran Concerto, and music from the Music Salon, and Serenade. You might not even notice all the music, but it sets the tone for the show. I mean, come on, how about that powerful motor? Have you ever wanted to write music before? Nowadays, there are so many free programs you can take advantage of, whether you know how to write music or not. Here are some great programs if you don't know how to read sheet music. If you have an Apple device or a Mac, you can write music in GarageBand, but Soundtrap and Soundation works on any computer. You just need internet access. These programs work on a visual basis. You get your piano roll and then you can draw out your notes to make your music. It's even color-coded. If you know how to write sheet music, you can access NoteFlight or MuseScore for free and draw the notes on your staff. Everything is customizable, from key signature to rhythms to instruments. There are also paid versions of all the aforementioned software, but if you're really serious and want to drop some money, you can buy a digital audio workspace, DAW, like Ableton, FL Studio, Logic Pro, or Pro Tools, and make music with some more horsepower. So let's talk about composing music first. There are many ways to start a piece of music or a song. Sometimes you can start with a phrase or a motif. Sometimes you can start with a chord progression and build from there. Other times you can start with a concept, like if you choose instruments to represent characters. What instrument would you assign to Honey? Comment below. There's really no wrong way to start, you just have to start. Let me show you a little bit of the Ouran suite. It started out like this. Then it slowly grew into this. Conceptually, we knew we needed a big, grandiose piece to represent Ouran Academy and all the rich people.
Is this for some kind of movie shoot or something?
Rich people! Rich people!
And this is what we came up with. Let's talk more about song concepts. One of the major ideas was that each member of the host club would get their own song, but this transformed into each host club member pairing would get their own motif. Like Haruhi and Tamaki, Tamaki and Kyoya, Hikaru and Kaoru, Mori and Honey, you get the picture. So this would be the music department's way of expressing our love for each member of the host club, as well as represent each character's story development. If you've read the manga, you know how the story goes, and the gang goes through a lot, each maturing and becoming their own independent person. We wanted this development reflected in the music as well. Visually, when you see moments with these pairings, you may also hear their motifs. So when you watch the fan-made version of our Ouran High School Host Club Season 2, make sure you pay close attention to the music. Music sets the mood for a scene. Let's take a look at this scene from the anime.
Oh, there you are, Shiro. The rest of the club is assembled and ready to go. You should get to the music room.
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm quitting the classical music club.
Huh? What made you decide to quit all of a sudden? I think you have a natural talent for the piano. It'd be a shame to waste it. So forget about quitting and come back to the club. If you play piano, you're sure to be popular with all the ladies.
But that's gonna take too long! I don't have that much time!
But what if we change the music?
Oh, there you are, Shiro. The rest of the club is assembled and ready to go. You should get to the music room.
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm quitting the classical music club.
Huh? What made you decide to quit all of a sudden? I think you have a natural talent for the piano. It'd be a shame to waste it. So forget about quitting and come back to the club. If you play piano, you're sure to be popular with all the ladies.
But that's gonna take too long. I don't have that much time.
Completely changes things, right?
This room is dark and scary.
Music is powerful, and as we all know from Stranger Things, having a favorite piece of music is kind of important. Songwriting is a long process of writing, rewriting, editing, and then preparing the pieces for performance. We even went through a couple of drafts and different versions of songs. Some songs were rejected in the end, but that's okay. It's all part of the music making journey because we want the best pieces and the best songs to be included in our fan-made version of Ouran High School Host Club Season 2. Right now, we are working on composing even more pieces for the music archive and producing all of that music. And let me tell you, music production is a whole different beast. We want our soundtrack to sound as professional as possible, and since we don't have live musicians to play the pieces, we are using virtual instruments. That's where our DAW like Ableton comes into play, that allows us to use plugins and VSTs, shout out native instruments and Spitfire, and free access to national orchestra samples like the BBC Symphony Orchestra, because this has been saving us, especially during the pandemic. So how did we decide what music we needed? Let's take a look at those composer notes again. Basically, we took the general concepts of when music was used in the show, and just as important, when music was not used during the show. We made a list based on upcoming scenes in our pilot episode, as well as accompanying quotes from the manga. So while we were composing the first set of pieces, we were simultaneously consulting the script. More on script writing in the future. That's when we figured out we didn't have an intro or outro song. It seems like a classic staple of anime to have a really strong intro and outro, and we were going to go without. We didn't have singers, and we didn't have songwriters, and we weren't planning on even writing these songs, or have them included in the songwriting schedule. So we did it anyways. We started off writing lyrics, and we established a melody from a combination of looking at the lyrics and from building out chord progressions. From there, we made some demos. You might have heard a rough demo of the outro from our TikTok account, @Glint Co. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. We are really excited to say that we are going to provide you with the whole shebang. Anime intro, full soundtrack with background music, and outro. The original anime soundtrack was composed by Yoshihisa Hirano, a Japanese composer best known for composing scores for animes like Death Note, Hunter x Hunter, and Eden Zero, as well as video games like Final Fantasy and Resident Evil. The intro, Sakura Kiss, was written and sung by Chieko Kawabe, and composed and arranged by Shinya Yutaka. The English version was sung by Christine Sa. The outro, Shisu, was written and performed by Last Alliance, while the English version was sung by Justin Houston. All iconic. It's really daunting to think that we are trying to make music as iconic as what was made for the anime, so we hope you like it and it brings your mind back to Ouran Academy and walking the halls to get to Music Room 3. Even though Haruhi can't sing to save her life, music is still powerful. It moves us and makes us feel and understand things we wouldn't have otherwise. We love opening the doors to Music Room 3, so it only makes sense that we're making our own music. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe for more project updates. See you next time.